So, with starting in the AFC East, we are going to start with none other than the New York Jets, who are familiar with finishing last in this division for at least since we have all become adults. And if you want to go further back than that, but this is a team that has struggled mightily. I think they still have the longest playoff drought of any major sports team. Is that still a thing? Is it 15 or 16 years? No
I believe
playoffs?
so. I
So
think since with the '09 season, maybe 2010 with Fitzpatrick.
no, that was Mark Sanchez era.
Was that Sanchez? Okay.
Sanchez, yeah, they beat the Patriots in the playoffs and then lost the Steelers in the AFC title game. So, but Jets made some pretty big moves this offseason. Obviously, trading for or signing Demario Davis from the New Orleans Saints, trading for Geno Smith from the Las Vegas Raiders, trading for Micah Fitzpatrick from the Miami Dolphins, and then obviously they were the only team in this past draft to have three number one picks. Obviously, they spent the second overall pick on David Bailey, the defensive end from Texas Tech. And then they spent their second first round pick on Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. And then they spent their third first round pick on Omar Cooper Jr. from the Indiana Hoosiers. Fellas, this team went 3-14 last year, last place in this division, obviously. And the question I have for you guys as we get ready to preview the Jets, will any Jets player have a breakout season? And if so, who is said player?
Brock, do you have an answer? I see you smiling over there.
Not necessarily like a breakout season, but like, I mean,
Breakout slash bounce back, we'll call it. Because I think everyone on the Jets had a suboptimals year.
this is I don't know if there will be a breakout season from anyone. If there would be, honestly, I'd put like if you had to tell me right now I had to pick someone, it'd be Brees Hall. But I that's just off of the potential. Like he probably has the highest potential to have a breakout season for the Jets. But at the same time, like this dude is like stuck in New York. And like at one point last year, it didn't seem like he wanted to stay in New York, and then signed an extension this offseason. And so he would be my pick. I could see the idea of Geno Smith kind of bouncing back compared to where he was at last year in Vegas. I mean, there's not much more. He doesn't have to do much to bounce back from what was the Vegas tenure of Geno Smith, but um, yeah, it's interesting because like there's not one player that I think that could have a breakout year. If anything, I'd probably lean more towards the rookies than some of the veteran people that they've signed or are now going to get a bigger role this season. I mean, Omar Cooper could be someone that could break out this year. I think this could be a really fun wide receiver class in the NFL draft. This past NFL draft, but yeah, there's no one like specific. But if I had to pick someone, it would be Brees Hall.
Braden?
Yeah, I mean, Brees Hall kind of is the obvious answer there. Like, he kind of is just the only, other than Garrett Wilson, feels like really the only guy we've seen on the Jets really for the last 3 or 4 years actually have a pulse. I will say, if I had to kind of give like an oddball answer, Adonai Mitchell started to look like he was really getting into a groove there at the end of the year. And that was with some not good passing. We'll just call it that. Is Geno Smith necessarily good passing? I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it's better than what they had. Give him an opportunity, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, you mentioned the passing attack for New York not being stellar last year. They did have four different players throw for a touchdown last year, so that's always something cool.
It's never a
Justin
good
Fields,
stat to have.
it's not, but it's an interesting stat. Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Brady Cook, and Iowa State legend for you guys, Brees Hall. Um, I saw that the Jets also signed Kenny Nwangu to also be primarily probably kick returner, punt returner, but I'm sure you guys are pumped for that because that was an electric backfield for the Cyclones several years ago when
I
those two
mean,
were
I'd
back
rather
there.
them be together literally in any other franchise that's not New York and Kansas City. But I had to specify the Kansas City part because I remember last year we were a little worried that that was actually going to end up happening.
Yeah, Brees.
But yeah, it's unfortunate that both of them are there because I think both of them could benefit being on a legit franchise that's not necessarily needs to be contending this year, but at least building towards a brighter future. But I will say, out of all the years and all the off seasons that the Jets have had in the past, I feel like this is definitely one of their better ones since that last time they made the playoffs in 2009. I think we said it was.
Yep. Obviously, year 2 of the Aaron Glenn regime in New York. It's funny because the stat last year was they didn't have an interception the entire season, which was it's intriguing, especially since they threw several, but they didn't catch any, especially since your head coach is a defensive-minded head coach, and it's Sauce Gardner and several other good defensive players on their team last year. But obviously, we remember the Jets last year most for losing games, and then when the trade deadline came around, trading all of their good players for first-round picks, which could be good business. What?
All but one. The one guy that was like, yeah, he's traded. That's the guy that they kept.
Yeah, the guy that was most likely to be traded was not the one traded. And
the guy that posted so many cryptic memes that made it seem like he was 1,000% not going to be in New York is still
the guy that I'm pretty sure, after the trade deadline passed, posted that meme of Squidward looking out from his house at SpongeBob and Patrick running outside.
Yeah.
I think there was a video of him driving a golf cart, not a golf cart, a goat cart in the practice facility, and everybody's like, yeah, this guy is literally he just does not want to be there, and he's trying anything and everything to cause a distraction. By the way, didn't all 3 of the Jets wins come after Sauce Gardner got traded?
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, Sauce Gardner did not win a game last year.
Oh, that's right, because the Colts went on that
the Colts didn't win a game after acquiring Sauce Gardner.
Wow.
And the Jets didn't win a game with him on their roster.
So
interesting.
Maybe I'm misremembering that. Maybe he got one win somewhere in the middle of that.
You might be right.
I'm pretty sure Sauce Gardner did not win a game.
Well, it's dependent on when he got traded. I don't remember what day exactly he got traded.
But in all honesty, though, the Jets should have had more wins last year.
Oh, he did. He was a part of one win.
Which
the Bengals game, where the Jets beat them 39-38. But that
was when Justin Fields had his game, and I was like, oh my gosh.
That's when Brees went off 150 yards, passing touchdown.
Yep.
Okay, looking at his game log from last year, he won against Atlanta in overtime, November 9th, 31-28.
That was is that the international game? Or no, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Colts Falcons. That's what I'm thinking of.
Colts Falcons.
I'm looking at a Jets jersey right now, and that's throwing me off right now about everything.
Either the London game or the Berlin game.
But
one of the two.
If you guys have their schedule up from last year, the Jets schedule specifically, they really should have had more wins by that first bye week. I know that sounds crazy, but you got losses that are 34-32 lost to Pittsburgh, 29-27 lost to Tampa Bay. That Tampa Bay game actually was one of my favorite regular season games to watch last year. I remember the blocked field goal attempts by Will McDonald, all that stuff, just the chaos that came from that game. Miami 27-21. Again, these aren't necessarily great teams, but they have some close losses. I mean, heck, Denver 13-11 loss. Carolina 13-6 loss. So they've kept
They were never winning
close.
the Carolina game. They were never winning that one.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Do you guys have their schedule for this season pulled up at all?
It's not
in 2 seconds.
It's not a good start for them. That's all I'm going to say, except for week 1.
according to like strength of schedule, so it's just your opponent's record, win-loss record from last year. They have the 21st easiest schedule. So they have like the 11th hardest schedule in the entire NFL, with the average winning percentage of each of their opponents at 0.517. So above 500 win percentage across the board for the teams that they're going to play.
I can name you one of those teams that's below 500. That was way below 500.
Oh,
But
no.
no, you should see their road schedule. It is pretty difficult. And I'll name all of them just so we make sure we hit all the games. But at Tennessee week 1, so that is a winnable game week 1 for them. Gonna be interesting because Robert Saleh's first game,
Big Bob Saleh.
well, with Tennessee will be against
Yeah.
New York. That's gonna be an interesting storyline. At Detroit week 3, week 4 at Chicago, week 6 at New England, week 9 at Kansas City. I know Dawson's excited to get down to Kansas City for that game. Week 11 at the Chargers, week 12 at Miami, week 15 at Arizona, and week 18 at Buffalo. So they have a pretty difficult road schedule.
So they're going winless on the road, is what I'm hearing.
No, they have one win in them.
Yeah, I mean they're going at Miami.
Yeah.
They'll
Miami,
win.
at Tennessee are their winnable games on the road, and at Arizona.
I was gonna say I think that they have 3 winnable games on the road, but like they have 3 winnable games, and then the rest are losses. That's the problem.
Brock,
though.
Brock, you'd be delighted to know that New York Jets at Arizona, you can get a ticket as low as $28.
I still
Yeah,
wouldn't
there
pay.
I guarantee you by kickoff that will be one.
I would have to
Penny?
buy.
Dollar?
They should pay
Rupee?
for my airfare.
One
If they paid for my
Argentine
airfare,
peso.
I'd go and sit and watch that.
Oh, man.
I'd be that guy sitting in the crowd with an Arch Manning Cardinals jersey.
Brock, you could potentially see Carson Beck versus Cade Klubnik in week 15.
Oh my god. If you were to tell somebody that, like, I don't know, 2 years ago, it'd be like, okay, like, maybe like a
it'd be-
decent
Yeah.
matchup.
Drew
And,
Aller
like-
still has Heisman potential. This is the year of all the players with potential still getting their
It's the year
opportunities.
of the quarterbacks that stayed too long in college and that they had to go pro.
Put the
There wasn't
fries in
any
the
other
bag.
option. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the year of, like,
unction.
the draft class before was, like, not even a good quarterback class. Why didn't they just
No.
declare that?
Because they could get
know,
more
man.
money out of their colleges and not
True.
have to play well.
Yeah. But they got 3 winnable games on the road, but the rest of them are losses for them. And then their home schedule is kind of iffy. Green Bay, Cleveland, I think should be a win. I actually do lean should be a win for them because I do think New York is a better roster structure currently. Believe it or not. Miami at home, obviously. Las Vegas, Buffalo, Denver, New England, and Minnesota. It's an interesting schedule for a team that I think actually does have somewhat of a foundation for the future. It's just whether or not they can actually take that next step. And that next step for them is actually just competing for that second place spot. And they can still lose and get third place and miss second by like 3 games. And I'd still consider that a very successful year for them. This is another team that has a low floor, a big range between floor and ceiling, I feel like.
Yeah, let's get to your guys' predictions on the Jets. Floor, ceiling, and then what you have is the realistic win-loss total. And then when you guys have your answers ready, I'll tell you what the general public thinks of your answers. But Braden?
All right. Floor, I mean, you got to look at, like, what are, like, yeah, these are wins. I mean, home against Cleveland. Home against Miami, probably. Arizona, I'll give them.
Yep.
And, like, maybe the Tennessee game. But if you're saying maybes, I don't know. I think floor is they do the same thing they did last year with a 3-14 record. My ceiling, 7-10. Like, this is still, like, even for like a not New York Jets team, this is not an easy schedule. So this is, yeah, this is a surprise. Stop me when you're shocked, but this is going to be a tough season for the Jets.
Tough season in terms of what other teams I think would consider a tough season. I
Yeah,
could see this being a building block for the future for them. Of course, I don't think the future, and I don't think they believe it either, is bright with Geno Smith as their starting quarterback. But doesn't mean that this year can't be at least a sign of like maybe some hope with the Jets. Their floor for me, same 2-3 wins. Um, I could see a world where everything does fall apart again because it is New York and they win 2 games. Ceiling, I had anywhere between 6 wins as well. I'm gonna put my prediction for them at, and I've changed this many times because this is a weird team. I actually am gonna probably lock in around 5 wins for them this year. I think they're gonna beat Miami at home, Cleveland, uh, at Arizona, maybe sweep against Miami, get that Tennessee game, and right there you're already at 5, and that's not even counting whether or not Las Vegas actually is something this year, depending on the quarterback situation or not. And who knows? Maybe they get that one random team that flops one week that they can catch a win on. I don't know. But 5 wins is what I got them at this year.
I guess I didn't give an actual like firm record of like this is what I think they're going to be. I'll kind of just piggyback off of that. I guess I'll go 4 wins. Just because, I mean, I just don't think Geno Smith is getting you anywhere. Maybe it's better than Tyrod Taylor. I mean, probably better than Justin Fields, let's be real. But, like, it's somebody that can get the ball into the hands of your young guys who try to maybe develop them, is really all that Geno Smith is anymore. And he's
And
going
the
to
other
lose you
team.
enough games to where, I mean, Raiders had the number 1 overall pick last year for a reason. It's because they didn't have anybody that could throw the ball.
The over/under win total for the New York Jets for this upcoming season is 5.5. So that feels like attainable. Certainly, if you're a Jets fan and you're trying to be optimistic about this season. But personally, it's going to sound like a broken record, but I'm in the same boat as you guys. I think 3-14 is their floor. It's tough anymore in the NFL for teams to really go like 2-15 or 1-16 or any worse, just because like feels like some teams like punt on certain weeks, especially like if a team's got a playoff bid locked up and they don't want to hurt their guys. It just feels like the NFL is more unpredictable now than it ever has been. So they could win a couple games they're not supposed to, but then, like I said, the flip side of that is they'll lose games they probably should win, even though if you're the Jets, I don't think there's any games on the schedule that are like no doubt you have to win that game. Um, but I'm gonna stick with my 4 at 3 wins. I'm gonna say they're ceiling at 6, but I really think they're gonna win 5 games. This just feels like the most 5-12 team ever. Like this just feels like they're preparing for the NFL draft next year, where they do have 2 number 1 picks and that potential. Whether it's Dante Moore, Arch Manning, we say this every year for the following quarterback class, but there probably is going to be a guy that the Jets take there. I don't know if Klubnik's going to be your answer long term. Probably not. Um, but this is a team I think that's just going to be should start scouting quarterbacks if they haven't already for next year, which I would assume they have. But I'm going to set the record at 5-12.